with gauntlets. On this side is how we would typically fight practicing in the club, with a helmet for protection and a gambeson. The gambeson is a padded jacket so that you don't get stabbed. And then we typically fight together there, and then over here you'll see we have some gentlemen wearing armour, slightly different configurations, but we'll show you why the armour was worn and what the difference is.
They were definitely dissimilar.
It has like sort of grotesque face.
But they had lots of.
So you'll notice that while they're trying to kill each other, they're moving from certain positions. These positions are called posters, and these have been used certainly since the mid-13th century to currently, as we see here. And the stances look very similar to any form of martial arts. You'll also notice that when one goes high, the other goes low. Look, there we go, that's a takedown. So, the important thing to remember is, when you're fighting with the sword, whilst you're at longer or long distance, where you're touching the swords, you cannot necessarily die, but you can position yourself for a fight. Whereas when you get closer, straight up, then it starts to become a wrestling match. Or if you have a dagger, you would use a dagger. Before we go any further, could you just show some different cuts? Could you show some different cuts as we would in the club? So, there are 7 cuts, starting with Fidente, Satani, Mezzani, Mezzani from the left, and front longer. So pretty much everything that you saw them doing, although it looked like they were doing a lot of things, they were really just focusing on those and different posters to get from one state to the other. You can do these forward and backward. Okay, we're going to take a break a minute. We'll have a quick armour session and we'll see some differences with the armour. Thank you. So you'll notice that one armour has more mail and one armour has a lot of plate. So we'll start, if it's okay with you two, by showing the differences. So you saw them fighting with the sword. They fight with the sword the same, but they also do what he's doing there, which is half swording. Could you just give us a demonstration of half swording? You'll notice one of the trick questions that we always ask people is, what part of the sword is a weapon? The entire sword. Whether it's the blade, the crossbar, the pommel, it's all a weapon. Thank you. Could you demonstrate for us where you're really aiming for when you're fighting somebody in armour? So that's one of the key areas you're fighting for, because although there's mail there, there's no plate armour because you want movement. So you're always looking for an opening under armour, or in the neck, or in the groin. If you can't stab somebody, what you're also looking for is to be able to grab them or do a takedown or a key or a lock. And you can do that with the weapon. And you'll notice that in armour, when you start to fall, it's hard not to because of the weight of the helmet. Could you give us some more demonstration in sword? That would be an arm lock. And the goal behind that is to get your opponent down or away from his sword so that you can pull out your dagger and finish him off. Anything else you want to show us with sword?
Let's see something else.
How about a little bout and then we'll break for posting. The acknowledgement there is the respect for each other before they fight. And you'll notice it always ends up in a brawl. Doesn't matter how good a sword fighter you are, it's always going to end up like that when you're close. Oh, no, that was bad. You'll see why there's flexibility in the sword too. If we didn't have the flexibility in the sword, it would break. Now it may look like it may look like two guys just fighting in armour, but keep in mind when they've got that helmet on, because of the way the eyepiece is done at the moment, because the eyepiece is closed, so that the sword can't get through there, or a dagger can't get through there, when they're actually fighting, you can't see a lot below the waist. So you've got to, it's quite a skill. You guys need to correct, and could you just show us the poster that we learn in the club? The positions that we start from and end at when we're doing it. That's long tail. That's boar's tooth. Middle iron gate. Middle iron gate. Full iron gate. Long on the right. Post de donna. Fenestra. Ficorno. Longa. Fenestra. Could you just hold in Fenestra for me a minute? This is a very important stance because whenever you finish an action like a cut, this is what stops you dying. The term we use is hands high or you die. We'll show you an example of that in a minute. Carry on.
I've seen her in a long time.
Post
What the
Donna.
must have been would have been back in
Frontale.
probably family day weekend-ish.
Further on the right. Frontale on
We're at
the
an
right.
event at friends, mutual friends.
So everything that you see them doing and practicing will tie in those moves together. They don't have to be done in that order, but they certainly got to be from one to the other. So when they strike, they come down to the other post. They miss.
Chat.
Did you get an example of that? See, you see when he did the Fenestra there, he got hit. He knew he was going to strike a move, and he went. Right. So the idea is to get your other opponent's sword away from you, or into a position where you've got them open. That was dangerous. As we said, all the sword is a weapon, so that was a pommel strike, following up from the deflection. And taking your opponent's weapon is good, especially if you can stab him when you've done it. So one of the things that we teach is that after you've struck like that, remember, always go back to the opponent's weapon because you don't know what he's going to be doing with it. He could be swinging it towards you. One more, guys. Thank you very much.